Hey guys, good to hang out again. We are going to be talking about money on YouTube and some of the things that go into preventing us from making money, as well as some of the things that YouTube is doing to make it possible for us to continue to earn money, and some interesting things kind of going on with it on a few different levels here on YouTube. So I'm excited to hang out with all you guys here in the live stream. Those of you who are watching the replay of this, you can make sure you feel free to watch on like double speed, or that's how I usually watch these. And make sure you hit that bell icon next to subscribe so you get notified and join us next time we're hanging out live here together, so we can get to know you and hang out in the chat together. So good to see everybody here. Hey Justina, good to see you. Justina's in Video Lab, so it's been fun to hang out with her. Junk drawings, Need for Madness, automobiles, Finley Trimmer. Good to see all you guys. Haunted Road Media. Hey, Mike. Good to see you too. And a lot of you guys. Cool. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to record this as a podcast episode. And so for most of about half of this, I'm just going to talk and record this audio. And then after that, then we're going to jump into Q&A. So you see Scandinavian Today is here in chat, and maybe Jess is in chat too. I'm not sure. So if she is, she'll comment. But there's people and moderators in the chat who are taking your questions and putting them into a separate document for me. So I want to make sure I do my best to address as many of your questions as possible around some of these new monetization things that YouTube is experimenting with, as well as some of the things they're trying to block as well that enables us to make more money. So thank you, Justina. Justina says, I love the podcast. If you're not subscribed to that, it's time to get on to it. Thank you. So let me hit record here. We're going to jump into the recording of this, and you guys in the chat, leave your questions. We'll get to them. And but first of all, let me hit the record button here. We're going to talk about monetization stuff on YouTube. It's getting kind of interesting. So here we go. Hey guys. Oh wait, let me do that again. Hello, it is great to hang out with you again for another Video Creators Podcast episode like we do here on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify every Tuesday. And today we're going to have a great conversation about some of the monetization and funding choices that are kind of shifting on YouTube. And this is going to make this is something that's a pretty high interest, popular topic among creators who are depending on YouTube to generate revenue and income for their content so they can be sustainable, continue to reach people, and impact their lives. My name is Tim Schmoyer. If we haven't met before, it's great to have you. I've been a YouTube creator since 2006. Just started by using YouTube as a way of publishing some videos to introduce my girlfriend at the time to my family across the country. And we just kept going. Today we would know them as vlogs, but that wasn't a word back then. It was just being weird in public with a camera, right? Which is still kind of what vlogging still is, if we're going to be honest. And eventually married that girl, and we just kind of kept going. We have we're still vlogging today, not as consistently the whole time, but here we are about 12 years later, 2006 to 2018, yeah, 12 years later. And still going, and about to pass 100,000 subs on that channel, which is cool at Smoothies. But on the very early beginning of YouTube, we were just making videos for my family and trying to figure out, why are other people watching these videos? Where are they coming from? How are they finding me? What's going on? This is kind of creepy. And I got involved in the industry side of YouTube very quickly, even before it was an industry, before there was even money on the platform, before the subscribe button was even a thing on channels, way before partner program, a lot of that stuff. So it's been fun to be a part of this and helping a lot of creators figure out similar questions that I had 10, 12 years ago. Where are these people coming from? How do they find me? Why are they watching? And how do we grow audiences that ultimately sustain the content we're making, but allow us to reach people and change their lives with the messages that we're spreading. So the money part of all that, our whole conversation is very important. And that's what we want to talk about here today. Now, a lot of you guys, maybe you are familiar with AdSense, right? AdSense on YouTube is how YouTube pays a lot of creators, how a lot of creators make their money on the platform. So around the video on YouTube, there'll be advertisements and some pre-rolls and different types of ad formats that when a viewer engages with those ads, then the advertiser pays YouTube some money, and then YouTube splits that revenue typically on a 45-55 split, 55 to the creator, 45 to YouTube. Splits that revenue with us, and that's how a lot of creators make their money on YouTube, which works great for some people. But there's been a growing problem, is that advertisers or advertisements, although great for content providers and advertisers, there are people who find ads to be an interruption. They find that they just makes websites look cluttered, and all they just want is the content. They don't actually want to invest or spend money or do anything they just want the content for free, and they want to remove ads. So there's been a few different Chrome extensions that have popped up over the years. A popular one is called Adblock, and a lot of people have been using that to just automatically remove a lot of ads from YouTube, from Google, from websites, from a lot of different places, and it just is, depending on who you ask, it's either crippling the YouTube creator community or just creator community in general. This is just YouTube. This is like a podcasters, bloggers, like anyone who has ad-supported content. It's like you're basically taking away that platform's entire revenue generating model that enables them to make the content in the first place. So some people say, hey, if you're using Adblock, you are stealing from the creator, and you are a drain on the online ecosystem that keeps all this content available for free. You're not being forced to click on an ad, although some people are using ads a little bit more obnoxiously, like the non-skippable ads that are just there for a really long time, and like a couple minutes, and you're just like, just like forget it. And that's what I do. I just give up watching at that point. Not on YouTube, but on like other platforms, because I have YouTube Red, so I don't have ads anymore. But yeah, so some people say you're stealing from the creator community. You're just a drain on the system. So a lot of people are very passionate, mostly creators, of course, against Adblock. And then you have the people who are mostly the consumers, who don't know what it's like to be a creator, who don't know how the whole model works, and as far as they're concerned, they're just making the viewing experience better for them. So Google, personally, my stance is like, I do think it's stealing. Even if you're like, well, I'm not clicking on the ads or engaging with them anyway, great, but at least like you're not even giving the advertiser an impression. You're not even giving them a chance to reach you. Maybe you would get something that's really valuable. You'd be like, you know what? I usually don't click on these, but this one looks actually like it'd be valuable for me. So if you don't click on them anyway, there's nothing really lost in my opinion. So I am probably more of that extreme group that's like, as someone who is a creator and works with creators and makes a living trying his best to support creators like yourself, I'm not a fan of Adblock. I don't use it, never have, and I'm not going to jump down your throat if you do, but maybe I will here a little bit. So this is the way it goes here, guys. We just keep it real. So YouTube and Google in general has been trying some things to mitigate some of the risks and the concerns and the problems that have been coming with more and more people using Adblock. And they've been experimenting for a little while. I want to share with you guys here some of those experiments, as well as what some of the stats are behind how effective they've been, and talk about maybe what might be happening on YouTube. Now, I have no indication that these things are happening on YouTube, or that they will happen on YouTube, or that they're being tested on YouTube. We're just looking at what Google is doing off of YouTube, and then we're going to say, would it make sense for them? Is this like a testing area for them to maybe then bring it to YouTube? And what could that mean? Because I think there's some very clear overlaps here that we need to discuss and go over here. Okay, so they about a year ago, Google launched this new thing called funding choices, and it allows for website owners to start having a conversation with visitors on their website by giving them custom messages that they can use to express how the ad blocking service the visitor is using, how it impacts their business and their content. So when a visitor arrives at a site using an ad blocker, funding choices can then allow the site to display one of three types of messages. One, it can be just a dismissible message that doesn't restrict any access to the content. It's just like, hey, we noticed you're doing this. Like, you can still access our stuff, but, please stop. Two, a dismissible message that counts and limits the number of page views that person is allowed to view per month on that site. And then after that, all content is blocked if they have ad blocker on. Or three, and this is something new that they're adding now, a message that blocks access to content completely until the visitor chooses either to allow ads on the website or pay to access the content on the website through our subscription service, or some sort of pass that does remove all the ads on that website using Google service called Google Contributor. And so that Google says that they're seeing publishers using funding choices typically see around 16% of visitors are now allowing ads on sites. On some sites they see it's actually as high as 37%. Which, in my opinion, is kind of like, all right, we could do better than that, right? It's not super high, but there's articles linked in the show notes here of this that you guys can, of this episode, you guys can go check out and see a little bit more. But there's one main article here on Google's blog talking about how they're helping publishers recover lost revenue from ad blocking. So, and if you look at that, you'll see a couple of examples of what these popovers look like. This one says, hey, we noticed you're using an ad blocker. We show ads on this site to fund the creation of content for you. You either click allow ads on this website or buy an ad pass, an ad removal pass. Another one might be, hey, this is number 3 of your 8 free articles for this month. We show ads on the site to fund the creation of content for you. And then again, you can either allow the ads or you can buy an ad removal pass. Or the last one is, we notice using the ad blocker. We need to show ads to pay for the people who create these articles for you. You can either allow ads or buy an ad removal pass. And 16% are allowing the ads on their sites, and some of them are even up as high as 37%. So this is interesting to me because on YouTube you might be thinking, first of all, like, okay, yeah, allow ads on the website on YouTube, but how would they buy an ad removal pass on YouTube? Easy. That service already exists. It's called YouTube Red, right? I've been a subscriber to YouTube Red for, I think I signed up for about 2 hours after it launched, and I have not looked back. This is amazing. And I'm not sponsored by them. I get no kickback or anything for this. They don't even know I'm talking about it. I'm just telling you, as a user myself, I really do think it's worth the $10 a month, because not only are you removing the ads, but 55% of that $10 goes to support the creators you watch based on the amount of watch time you're giving each creator. So if a creator is, let's say you have $5.50 every month to give to the creators you watch on YouTube, and let's say you watch only video creators, I get $5.50. Thank you so much, right? But if you watch me and maybe Greenlight or Just Creatives, or you're watching whoever, you watch like 3 of us, that $5.50 gets split up between all of us, and based on the amount of watch time you give to each creator. And the rough math that I've done is like creators earn about 20 to 25 times more. Again, it depends on how much you watch YouTube and a lot of different factors, of course, but very roughly, it pays creators way better, much better. So not only do you get a better service by not seeing ads on the platform, but you have a better experience, but you're actually supporting the creators that you watch. So if that's like, as creators, hopefully we do want to support each other, right? And so instead of using Adblock, we can support each other by just using YouTube Red. And then not only do you get ad-free videos, which is amazing, like the YouTube, if you haven't tried it, like usually it's like a 4-month free trial on YouTube Red, and then you can usually just Google that. Usually there's like 4-month free trials around that you can get if you haven't tried it before, just to check it out, see if it's right for you or not. But those 4-month free trials, I mean, I think like you start experiencing YouTube without ads, without interruptions, without clutter, and it becomes like a place you really enjoy being and can watch for a lot longer. But you also get uninterrupted music on YouTube. You also get access to Google Music Play, which is like their Spotify. You get to download videos and watch them offline. Like if you're on the bus or in the car, don't want to use your data connection, you're on an airplane, subway, whatever, you can watch offline and just download your subscriptions and watch them later whenever you want without having to worry about buffering and hiccups and things like that. You got access to all their original shows, and it's just great. You can listen to music in the background. There's just a lot we can go into it. The point here isn't like a YouTube Red commercial. I just want to say that I think this could make sense for YouTube if they went this direction. If someone with Adblocker comes to YouTube and say, hey, you got two choices. One, you can allow ads and like disable YouTube, like bypass YouTube and let ads display here, or you can pay for YouTube Red. Which do you want to do? Now, I personally don't have, like I said, I have no indication that this is coming. I just think it's interesting that what YouTube or Google is experimenting with off YouTube. I'm wondering, I would love personally, I think something like this to be at least tried on YouTube. The big risk for YouTube, of course, is that a lot of people just abandon YouTube completely and just don't come back. And I think that's something that they would rather someone be on YouTube with Adblock than someone not on YouTube at all, because at the end of the day, they probably like, can we convert this person into a Red subscriber? Can we get this person to stop using Adblock? I think they're more interested in that. Is my opinion. I don't know that for sure. I have no information about this other than like what I'm speculating here just with you guys as I read and follow a lot of this stuff. So that's a thing. Now let me kind of give another interesting perspective on this. And maybe you guys saw this already, maybe you didn't, but it is a article from Susan Wojcicki, who is the CEO of YouTube, and she is committing now to kind of communicating better with creators. We do an update once a quarter, and so there's a link to this also in the show notes. They talk about a few different things about like the monetization, switching, and transparency and communication, giving people more ways to engage, enforcing policies, things like that. But there's one thing on here that so YouTube's been going this direction a lot, not just with AdSense, but they're trying to find new ways of making viewer supported, like putting financial models in place for viewers to be able to support the creators that they love. YouTube Red is one very passive way of doing that. Super chats in the live stream, like you guys who are here in the live stream, I've seen a lot of YouTube chats, super chats going by, which we'll get into those. Those of you guys who are listening to the audio recording of this later, I am live streaming this on my channel. And so super chats are a lot of things that you guys can do to directly support the creators that you want. But then there's another thing that's been rolling out. Now, a lot of YouTube gamers have had this for a little while. And that is, let me just read this little paragraph here from Susan. She said, creators have also told us that they want more alternatives to make money beyond ads. We recently began testing sponsorship with a limited set of creators. This lets fans set up reoccurring sponsorships that can fund their favorite creators. Many sponsored creators saw substantial increases in their overall YouTube revenue, so we plan to expand this and make many more creators in the coming months. In terms of full disclosure, I am one of those creators that's getting it in the coming months. Should have it here in the next few days and begin testing it with you guys and teaching you guys and letting you know how this thing works. Now, sponsorships, I think, is a confusing name for it because you don't need me to explain why that's a confusing name for it. Like having a sponsor of your channel could now either mean an advertiser or one of your viewers. An advertiser may be paying thousands of dollars and a viewer that's maybe paying $5, right? So it's a little bit confusing. But that aside, in terms of our conversation, we're talking about sponsorships where someone can come to your YouTube channel and for $5 a month, they say, I'm going to be a sponsor, and they get access to different perks. They get access to special emojis on your channel while you're live streaming. They get access to private post on your community tab. If you want to give them like exclusive content and access to things, they get a special badge on your channel and comments and chat and things like that. So, and they have a lot of other features rolling out too, which we'll talk about probably in a future episode. But for right now, even if Adblock is a thing, they're giving creators more tools to make money directly from their audience, which I know some of you guys have been talking about this in the chat already. That yes, don't depend on AdSense. Make a business model, create a business model that makes your content sustainable without AdSense. Make it as like the icing on the cake. But you should have products, you should have services, you should have other ways that continue to deliver the value to your audience that your videos deliver, but maybe like 10x that value in a format they're willing to pay for, right? So I think the beta testing of sponsorships is going to be interesting. I'm certainly looking forward to testing that out and playing with that myself. And giving some of you guys access to certain perks and rewards on my channel and seeing how this works. There are other platforms that do something similar, like Patreon is one we're probably all familiar with, right? Where someone can contribute $1, $5, $100, doesn't really matter, a certain amount either per creation that you create or just a flat monthly fee and get access to perks and rewards as a thank you for supporting you. And so I really do appreciate my patrons over at patreon.com/video creators. You guys are awesome. And one of the perks that you get is after these weekly podcast episodes and live streams, we talk about a few updates every week that are happening in the online video industry, but I go through about over 1,000 blog posts and articles and news stories and headlines every week to prepare for these things. This industry is changing so rapidly, so quickly. And so just starting at the $1 level over on my Patreon account, I have a bonus links I give you guys every week just to kind of like, hey, we talked about this, but here's all these other things we didn't have time to talk about. And I just give you access to those other things I think are important for us as creators to stay on top of. And so like some of the bonus stories that we have for you patrons this week is some of the updates on YouTube's delays in the application process for the partner program. We're seeing some new advertisers, some big spending advertisers come back to the platform after Adpocalypse and talking about some of the stipulations around content and advertisers and things like that. As well as some hiccups as well with YouTube has been having with still showing some advertising against non-advertiser safe and extremist type of content. So those are things we'll talk over Patreon, but Patreon is something that a lot of you guys are doing, and it'll be interesting to see as how things go forward with a combination of funding choices that you may or may not roll out on YouTube. If they do, it'll be a very light version, I'm sure, but I think it's great that they're experimenting with that, as well as giving us as creators more opportunities to deliver value and generate funds directly from our audiences through super chats and sponsorships and other things that might be coming here in the future. So that said, and I know you guys have a lot of questions about this, and I want to jump into them here. Let me catch up on some of these super chats first of all, because you guys had some really good stuff you're talking about here. So first of all, $50 for Games for Kicks. Now, thank you, first of all. I think that's $50. Let's talk about, I actually might be, yeah, I think that's 50. Let's talk about what's happening here with a super chat. $50. In order for me to generate something close to $50 in ad revenue, let's just say it's $1 per 1,000 views. I mean, it's just for easy math. Okay. It's more than that, but, well, yeah, let's just say it's $2. That would be 25,000 views, right? I'd have to get to do that. So one super chat is worth effectively somewhere around, 25,000 views on a video. So thank you. That's what the power of fan funding and delivering value to your audience and using some of these tools and services can do for you. So, okay, so let's get to the actual question. Games for kicks. I don't have the time to actively follow the streams, but watching your content did help me a lot, understanding better what's going on with YouTube. Cheers and keep it up. Thank you. You're welcome so much. I really appreciate that and your support. Caleb Templeman Vlogs and Texts, $5. Keep up the good work, Tim. Love your videos. Thank you, Caleb. Really appreciate that. You guys, so cool. Story Greenlight. Thank you, Jeff. $5. Make sure to check out all of Tim's videos on how to not rely on AdSense, and you'll bring in much more income as a result. Yes, absolutely. I actually was just looking at my company, my profit and loss statement, which how much money we earned and spent and everything. And for, well, let me make it more broader. In 2017, AdSense was 11% of my income. So I'm not dogging on it. I mean, 11% is still 11%. But there's a lot other ways. 89% of my revenue from my YouTube channels came from things outside of AdSense. So, and Casual Unboxing, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate it. Okay. So, A Bugman's Life. Greetings from South Africa. How badly does Adblock influence creators? I can't believe it is quite bad. I don't have the answer to that. I guess what I'm standing against is not like, okay, is there a certain number that we would get to that, okay, now it's considered bad, or now it's okay? Like, is there, let's say it was 50% of creators. Is that bad? Is that good? It's like, is that okay if it only impacts and influences 50% of creators? What if it's only 1% of creators getting impacted by this? Is that okay for those 1%? What if it is all creators only losing 1% of their revenue? Is that okay, or is that still stealing? Like, to me, it's not really, doesn't really matter how, like, is it like, okay, I go to the convenience store and I just took one bite off the chocolate bar and I left. I only took a small fraction. Is that really hurting anybody? Is that store going to go out of business because I took one bite out of a chocolate bar and left? You know, like, maybe if you can sense the tone of my voice, maybe is how I feel about this. To me, it doesn't matter. It's the principle of, is this right or wrong? Is it stealing? Is it having an impact? What if everyone started doing this? Let's just flip it around the other way. What if everyone started doing this? Would that be bad? Absolutely. So then who's to say that it's okay for you to do this and not okay for you to do that? Because if, like, now, like, can we say it's okay only as long as some people choose not to do it and actually support the creators? I don't know. I'll stop ranting. I think that's the wrong question to ask, in my opinion. The right question to ask is, am I getting value from something? Am I consuming something? And should the people who invested their time, resources, energy into creating this, does this thing have value even if they offer it to me, quote, for free? Like, nothing is online for free. When on an advertising-based model, the eyeballs are the product, right? Like, there's still a product there, but it's the viewers who are watching, and hopefully a very small percentage of the people who are on the page end up converting into a click or into a sale for the advertiser, which kind of keeps everything monetized and everything going. So, okay, I'll stop ranting. I think you get my point there. Franklin, a friendly Adblock or rules are made up by Google, aren't they? No, Google does not make Adblock. And it is against their terms of service to do anything that circumvents advertisers from being displayed or things like that. And so it does break YouTube's terms of service to use Adblock. Let's see. Jonathan24, why can't Google get past Adblock? I'm sure they can. Yes, I'm sure they can. If anyone can just make their ads unblockable, it would be Google. The problem, though, I think, is that it doesn't really solve the problem. What you're kind of doing is you're just going to get yourself into a race of, okay, now we have it unblocked for a little bit, and now you've just ticked off all these people, and now they're like adamantly opposed to like your service, or they are like, I am going to figure out how to get around this, right? And so then they update their Adblock system to circumvent the things that you put into place to block it. Okay. And then, so Google's got to go back and then update it again. And it just kind of becomes like a cat and mouse game at some point. And I think Google doesn't probably want to get into that space. They just want to say, hey, can we just do something that makes this place like that people don't want to use Adblock, or they don't feel like they need to use Adblock, right? I think that's probably the direction they're going, as opposed to, can we just stay ahead of the Adblock game and keep everything unblockable? Biffa plays indie games. Hey, Biffa. Tim, I don't think many would leave. It's like Google. What else do you use? Ask Jeeves. Yeah, maybe. I don't think, yeah. I mean, MSN.com, or is that still a thing? Bing. There we go. Bing. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't know that many would leave Google. I think Google wants to say, can we make this, well, yeah, I've already said all that. So yeah, I don't know where people would go and how many, but I think it's more the principle of the thing is what YouTube is trying to go after. Like, can we just not get into a cat and mouse game? Thank you guys for the super chat. The Grandma Chronicles, $10. Keeping integrity popular. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, I don't know how popular it is. Usually whenever I say this kind of stuff on previous videos, I get thumbs downs, I get dislikes, I get haters, I get unsubscribes, because there's some people who just feel very, very entitled, and that, hey, I am watching this, it should be free. Like, okay, well, is that how you're going to make your content sustainable on YouTube? Like, too many people just think like, hey, I put in hard work, YouTube owes me money now. Like, that's the way a lot of people grow up being trained to think. You know, like that's the way like being an employee works, but you're not an employee of YouTube. YouTube doesn't pay you just because you do hard work. It's hard work to grow a channel, and it usually means you get paid very little, if anything at all, in the beginning. So you got to have some bigger motivations and reasons to do it, and then hopefully that, you know, you can get to the place where you're getting paid not because you're putting in hard work, but because you're providing tremendous value. That's how a business owner works. An employee exchanges time for money. A business owner exchanges value for money. And that's the way you need to think about this in order to really do well on YouTube. But thank you for the support, the Grandma Chronicles. I don't know how popular my opinion is. I don't think it is very, but thank you for your support. Green Shorts DIY, $10. Thank you thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Thank you for the analysis today. The comparison between views to dollars and super chats was an eye opener. I'm about to launch my own Patreon after much thought, probably too much. Yes, I know you, Tom. You do everything intentionally. If you guys aren't familiar with Green Shorts DIY, it's a short about, or a channel about going green. And there are shorts. So like short films about going green. So Green Shorts is the channel. And so a lot of like environmentally friendly, simple things you can do to just be better. That's better for the environment. It saves you time and money and things as well. So go check it out, Tom, if you haven't already. But thank you, Tom, for the $10, and looking forward to hearing how your Patreon launches. I know you're a patron, so hopefully I'll get to hear how that goes in one of our monthly Patreon hangouts. Get to catch up on that. Chris Conkle Vlogs, $5 from Canada. Thank you. Tim, thank you. Your message inspired me and gave me a direction. Your free ebook and videos have given me so much. Thank you. See, and thank you for the $5. This is the way I hope it works for all of you guys, where you're delivering good value, and then people hopefully be like, this has been so awesome, Tim. I just think $5. Here you go. Thank you so much for your free videos and your free ebooks and stuff like that. So thank you, Chris. I really do appreciate that, and the example that you're setting, hopefully even for others. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Distant N. Adblock is stopping AdSense money, but AdSense just gets you a little money anyway. So what's a better way to get money off of YouTube at video creators? Great question. I have, as Jeff from Story Greenlight mentioned in his earlier super chat, I have lots of videos on my channel about money. Just search my channel for, I don't know, monetization, business, entrepreneur, things like that. You'll find a ton of them. If you want like a step-by-step guide, a step-by-step process, I have a whole entire course about how to create a business model around your channels called Turn YouTube into Your Career. And I know it's my course, so you're expecting me to say this, but I really do believe that it's the course that any creator who wants to monetize their content beyond AdSense, this is the course like you should be required for you to take. We talk about all the different, like what a business model is. We make it very easy. I know I was intimidated by what a business model is. It sounds like really like I have no idea how to wrap my mind even around the business model. It sounds really geeky and nerdy. The thing is, most creators are already doing all the elements of a business model already just to deliver their content. The thing that they're missing are revenue streams. And yeah, basically it's revenue streams. Let's see, like there's 9 parts of a business model. You're already, without even knowing it, you're already doing at least, at the minimum, just in order to deliver a video, you have to be doing at least 6 of them. So there's only like 3 more really got to tack on, but like mostly just 1. And that's the thing that the course gets into. Like, here's the missing piece that you're missing. Let's dive into this and step by step how to figure out what product to create for your audience that they're going to love. How do you then create it? How do you test it before you invest like a ton of money into it and waste money on making this thing that no one ends up buying or doesn't serve people very well? How do you integrate these things into your videos naturally in a way that doesn't kill the SEO value of your channel and lots of different things? How do you scale this then with teams and stuff? That's the pitch. Go to videocreators.com, click on all courses at the top, and turn YouTube into your career. It's a course. But I have lots of videos about it just here on my channel too that you can check out. So hopefully that's helpful for you just in helping you figure out how. Or another way to play is those of you listening to the podcast episode, go back to episode number 1, and that tells you a kind of an overview of how I did it here on Video Creators. And a lot of you guys have heard this before. But here on Video Creators with 3,000 subscribers and 6 months into this thing, it was generating $10,000 a month. And that was not from AdSense. And again, I'm not dogging AdSense. I'm not hating against it. I take it. I just got paid, yesterday or 2 days ago or something from AdSense. So, I like it. But there's other ways to monetize, and you guys can totally do it too. I've worked with many, many creators who have done even better than I have. And you guys definitely need to go check it out. All right, Jazzy Puppet. Didn't YouTube just get rid of that donation button that was on creators' pages about a year ago? No one ever used it. That's right. No one ever used it because it wasn't tied directly to the content well enough, in my opinion. It was just like there, and people could go support you, but there wasn't anything that they felt like they got out of it other than I gave money to the creator and hopefully he sees it. But as you can see in like live streams from the super chats, these work much better because I can actually answer your question. I notice them, and you guys a lot of people like doing super chats because, I'll come back to that. A lot of people like doing the super chats because they get a response from me and I can answer their question in real time, and it's getting public recognition from me and others. There's more value wrapped up in a super chat or even in a sponsorship on a channel than there is on like passively find like the tip jar on YouTube that no one was really using. So I think that this is definitely different and working much better. Justina in chat says, I've done the course, so do take it. The course is awesome. So thank you. And a lot of other you guys, looks like a few of you guys in chat are saying similar things. I mean, that thing has nothing but 5-star reviews, and I don't moderate them. I don't take it off. I'm not taking down the bad reviews. It's literally just, I think there might be 1 4-star, but all the rest of the reviews are 5 out of 5. So, hopefully that's helpful for you guys. Okay. Let's see. City Cars TV from Argentina. Hi, Tim. I saw a video of a YouTuber who said they don't pay for clicks for watcher likes. They just pay for click on the publicity link. Are there different ways for a payment? Sorry for my English. I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but as a creator, you should not be paying for anything. Don't pay for views. Don't pay for likes. Don't pay for watch time, comments. Doing that can really hurt your channel, and in the long term, it can really hurt. And plus, it's just not usually that effective. I've said this a lot of times, but most creators think that exposure is their main problem, and it almost never is. Their main problem is usually something else, and by just dumping money onto the problem doesn't make it magically start working for you, right? So you need some other. You need to fix some other things. Once it starts working, then maybe we can talk about doing AdWords campaigns and things to like pour gasoline on the fire. But just off the bat, I wouldn't do it. Thank you for the $10 off grid with Doug and Stacy. We've sent you a PM on YouTube. We need to talk. Hit us up. Thanks. Ready to go to the next level. Thank you. I never check the PMs on YouTube. There's too many. Most of them are spam and junk. Before the channel 1 design took over years ago, I had the PMs disabled, which I sent to only contacts who contact me, and then I accepted no one as a contact. So yeah, if you PM me on Facebook, like I was just stuck at 99 plus. I don't look at those either. The best way to do it is email us, team@videocreators.com. We have systems in place that manage that. I don't have systems to manage everything on YouTube and everything on my Facebook profile and everything on all the different places people reach out, LinkedIn, everything. Although I know I'm supposed to be on LinkedIn, it's just like we can't manage it. Just funnel it through team@videocreators.com. Email us there. That'll be the best way to do it. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for the $10. So, and then Green Shorts DIY $5. Thank you again, Tom. Can you discuss the new Magnify app? Saw your email today and was curious if you tried it. Yes, I have tried it, and I'll be using it a lot more. And there'll be a video coming out later about that, Tom. So. I'm not going to discuss that here, but if you guys aren't a Video Creators Insider, I do send out, like Tom's referring to, some exclusive stuff. Like the thing I emailed out today is I'm going to be free for private Q&A sessions every 15-minute Q&A sessions, just private one-on-one through an app called Magnify. And so if you want to schedule one of those, the email already went out, so you missed it. But if you don't want to miss other future stuff, check the link in the show notes. It's to get my free ebook called The Secret to Building Your YouTube Audience, and that'll put you on the email list where you get opportunities and kind of get notified of things like that. All right. So, Hutch, is YouTube Red available in the UK yet? Last time I checked, it isn't. I don't know. I know they're constantly rolling out different countries on that, but go to youtube.com/red and see if it's available in your country or not. But I know they're working hard on rolling it out more places, so hopefully you'll get it soon. Steve, Believe Guitar, how does YouTube Red work? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Just like kind of go back and rewind the live stream or the podcast here, but it's a revenue split from that you're paying that gets split with creators instead of what advertisers are paying, basically. So. Okay, and then Charles Linens. I don't use Adblocker, but YouTube says I don't have enough viewing minutes to monetize. Why should I support their fight against Adblocker when they block my monetization and still run ads? I don't think that's how it works. If you don't have enough viewing minutes to monetize, there are no ads running on your content. The reason for that is because the whole point of changing the monetization of the smaller channels is because there's not enough trust established yet with new channels. They don't know, like, are you going to upload something that's not advertiser friendly? Are you going to just be uploading a lot of spam and junk to this channel? Like they want to know, like, when you hit 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers, to them that's a good indicator that you're offering value to someone, and then they will then you'll be able to apply for the partner program and have your channel reviewed. But so first of all, the two parts of that question is why should you support their fight when they block your monetization and still run ads? Unless I'm misunderstanding your question, if you don't have enough viewing minutes to monetize, then there's no monetization happening on your videos for anyone who watches. That's the whole point. They don't want advertisers to show up against that type of content until there's some trust established. And so it's not really a fight, I don't think either. I think just as a creator, this is what makes the economics work. And so as a creator, it's like, if you're okay with people using Adblock on your stuff, that's fine. For me, I don't monetize 100%. As I said, only 11% of my revenue last year in 2016 came from AdSense. So I have other ways I monetize besides advertising, which kind of, is Adblock making a huge difference for me? Personally, probably not. It's still like the principle of the thing, though, for me, which I've already gotten into. Okay, distant and Adblock is stopping AdSense money, but AdSense just gets you a little money anyway. So, oh yeah, we talked about that. Okay, that same question. All right. Drone Racer 101. I'm really curious to see how sponsorships do versus Patreon. I love patrons, but I find it tough to grow. I'm interested to see that too. I love Patreon as well. My patrons are awesome, but just to be totally honest with you guys, it's been declining since the end of last year. I'm always picking up new patrons, but there's usually more leaving than there are signing up each month now. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why. The exit surveys say that you can give different options of why you're deleting your patronage, and almost 100% of them say that one, I'm either no longer doing YouTube, no longer growing my channel, they gave up on YouTube. But most of them are saying that my financial situation changed, which I understand. Absolutely. Like, if your financial situation changes, please stop your patronage. Like, you need to take care of your family. You need to take care of other things that are far more important than being a patron of video creators. So I totally wholeheartedly support that. I'm curious to see how the sponsorships perform with an audience like mine, where it is all YouTube. Instead of trying to get people off of YouTube and onto another platform, like keeping all the perks and the rewards on YouTube and a platform where people are already engaging and interacting and things like that. I'm curious to see what that does too. So I do have some perks in mind and stuff for sponsors, and maybe next week I'll be able to roll those out for you guys. I don't know. We'll see how quickly this goes. I am in the next beta rollout of it though. So we will learn together, and I will let you guys know exactly how that goes. Video creators, any word on how long it will be before YouTube will start approving ads on people who hit? Yes, and that was one of the articles that will be for patrons. That's one of the updates we'll talk about. People who are for primarily patrons. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I really do appreciate your questions. If you're listening to the podcast recording of this, I would love to have you subscribe. New episodes every Tuesday plus throughout the week. And guys, really hope this has been helpful, and looking forward to hearing all your feedback. So subscribe if this is your first time here. Thank you, Heidi and Jess, and those of you guys, Cindy, who are patrons and also who are moderating the chat here. Thank you for your support and taking all the questions. And subscribe, and we'll catch up with you guys again next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, to talk more about all the updates and changes happening on the online platform and what it means for us as creators. So thank you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.